I will admit it feels a little strange right now being creative in the current moment, but I'll save those thoughts for another time. Today, I'd like to continue with this bootcamp series of videos by talking about shadows and how an object that has a light source can cast a shadow and what that looks like. If you've never been here before, hello, my name is Spencer. This is Sketch a Day. And I'm taking you through a little boot camp, just some tidbits, tips, things you can brush up on if you want to be better at drawing. Now, as an industrial designer, my job is to represent ideas as quickly and efficiently as possible. And one of the most powerful ways to do that, of course, is perspective drawing. But to make your perspective drawings better, having a simple understanding at the very least of shadows is a great additional tool in your toolbox, okay? Now, I have a cube here. I went ahead and drew this. This is a 3-point perspective cube. And if you missed that portion of the bootcamp, feel free to go back in the playlist, take a look, watch it, make sure you practice so you can draw a good cube or box like this. All right. So there's two primary light sources that I would consider using if I were casting a shadow. All right. So there's natural light and artificial light. Okay. So artificial light shadow is something like a lamp. You might have a lamp in a room, and it as a light source is projecting light. The object is obscuring a portion of where the light might go and creating a shadow. And then the other way you can do this is by using sunlight, okay? Real light. Now, here on the paper, like I said, I have a cube. Basically, what I can do as the illustrator is decide anywhere around this object, okay, where you want your light to be. So the first thing you're going to do is pick a position. You could pick here, you could pick here, you could pick here, whatever you want to do. I'm going to pick this point here. All right. The next thing, so the first thing is, let's say, ground location. All right. Ground location. That's the first thing you want to pick. The next thing you want to pick is the height. All right. So how high is this light going? Okay. I'm going to, let's just say here, right? This little point right here. And typically when I'm sketching, I'll draw something like this that just represents my light bulb. Now from this light source, I can project light rays, right? So a point light source like this, which is an artificial light, has light rays, you can think of them that way, emanating from that light source. So the first step here is to, through each of the top points on our cube here, I can label these if it's helpful, A, B, C, and D. So through each of these points, and this would be E, F, G, and H. All right, so through each of these points on the top, we're going to project a line. So we go from, I'm rotating my paper to make this a little easier. Remember to warm up, draw with your shoulder, all that good stuff. Again, if you missed that, you can check out the first few episodes in the playlist. All right, so we're going to go from this point through each of our points here. So through A, and then through this point here was a D, and then through this point C, and I'm just extending these out as far as I can. All right, and you'll see why in a second. And then B, and just extend that out. Now if you want to draw nice straight lines, again, I cannot stress this enough, make sure you practice and warm up. Okay, do those warm-up pages where you're drawing with your shoulder. Remember to kind of think of your arm like a little bit of maybe a robotic armature, right? You don't want to move your wrist too much, just move your shoulder, move your elbow, and you'll be in a good position. All right. And then the next thing we want to do now is look at the base of the light. So I selected the base here, but in truth, this base could be a little lower. Like you could pick here, for example. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit because I know if I pick this position here for the base, my projection is going to go off the page. And I don't want to have to deal with that right now. But just trust me when I say you can pick whatever height you want and whatever base. It might feel weird, okay? It might feel weird, but you can pick a base. All right, so I'm going to pick this point, and now I'm going to go through each of these base points, E, F, G, H. What's that? E, F, G, and H, yes. So we're going to go through point E, like so. Oh, look at that. As I go through A, this might be a little offset, right? I'm going to end up with a point somewhere here. We'll just say it's in this region because this is sketching, it's freehand, so things are a little bit off, but you want to find the intersection. Now, I'm going to find the intersection here from this point through point F and the corresponding point E, right? So see how E is above F here, right? I'm going to go from the base through F until it intersects with E. So now I have a point right here. I'm going to do the same thing with G, okay? And G corresponds with, what's this, C? So I'm going to extend this a little bit more, and I have a point here. And now I want to go from the base of the light through this point, what is this, A, B, C, D, E, E right here, and make sure I intersect with the light ray that's coming from B, all right? So from the base through E right here, intersected, okay? Now, this point is very, very close to the side, so I'm not going to worry too much about it, but let's take a look at what happens. Now, let me switch to my green pen, and I will connect the dots, all right? So we'll connect the dot there, we'll connect right here, and then I'm going to connect over here, okay? Just like that. And if I wanted to, I could connect over to there, right? And you can kind of see what's happening. All right, this shape is a distorted projection of the top. In fact, I think this should go maybe something like that, right? I'm probably a little bit off here. But in any case, this area, this region right here is my shadow, okay? And like I showed you last time, when you're shading with a pen, because you don't really need too many complicated tools, when you're shading with a pen, all you have to do is put some lines in quick succession next to each other, and that's going to give you a value. Okay, so for example, here, I take the green and we just hatch in. I'm still drawing with my shoulder and I'm drawing with my elbow just to make sure I can do these nice, straight, quick lines. Now, one thing I want you to be aware of, and just as a reminder again, the energy you put into your sketch is the energy that you'll get out at the end. And maybe it sounds obvious, but the faster and more confidently I sketch here, the more interesting everything is going to be in the end, okay? So it's kind of like building a house where you have to have a good foundation and good materials and good technique, and then you have a good house. You can't have everything not be up to a certain standard and then have a good structure or good house, all right? On this side, since it's away from the light, these two, I could, if I wanted to, shade these in. This might be the darkest here. Shade this in with my pen. And then this side is going to be a little lighter, so I'm going to space out my lines like so. All right. Now, I'm going to do this again with natural light, and you'll see the difference, but this is an artificial light shadow. All right. In this case, we're going to have a shadow that diverges, all right? Or rather, a shadow that appears to expand the further away it goes from the light source. That's a characteristic quality of these shadows. Now, if I'm doing a natural light shadow, in fact, let me label this so we don't forget. So, natural light shadow, all right? Yay, natural light shadow. All right. Oops. See, I made a mistake. This is actually artificial. Artificial. Like I said, I'm keeping it raw, keeping it real with you. I make mistakes. You make mistakes. We're human. It's all good. All right. So here, I'm going to do a natural light shadow. So a natural light shadow is a shadow that's going to be produced by light rays that are emanating from the sun. And because the sun is so far away, we don't perceive that those light rays are diverging. All right. There's a bit of geometry, if you will, with the physics of light and the distance of the sun from the earth, and that's why we assume that they're parallel. But truly the sun is a point light source as well. We're just so far away. Now, if we have the sun, and I'll do the light in a similar position just off to the left here. Make sure I'm centered. All right, cool. So if my sun is, let's say, somewhere here, right? Those light rays are crazy. I'm still thinking in general about, where would the sun be relative to the object? I could pick any of these points, but again, I picked a point over here. So I could say even maybe here, right? And somewhere up in the sky is the sun, depending on the time of the day. Now, if the light rays are parallel, and this is easier to do than the natural light example, I think, and it feels a bit more intuitive, all I have to do is look at these points on the top and also look at these points on the bottom. I'm not going to label them with letters this time, but this time I'm going to just draw the lines and hopefully everything will make sense, okay? I was just looking for a special red pen, but we'll roll with this. So all I have to do is pick an angle. I could have my light rays go like this. I could have them go like this. I could have them go like this, right? 1, 2, 3. You get to decide as the illustrator where the sun is in the sky. All right, so if I pick for example, number 2 here, right? And this is, let's say, the direction of my light rays from the light source. All I have to do is kind of match the direction. So I'm hovering over this line number 2. I'm going to move my hand over here and try and mimic the same direction. So see how these lines appear parallel now, right? I'm going to do the same thing through this line, like so, and then do the same thing through the back corner here, all right? So I know this is a little messy, but ignore these 2 lines for now, okay? All right, so there are the light rays as they traverse or cross the top corners of the box. Now on the bottom, we can pay attention to the direction. So my light is somewhere over here. I just have to pick a direction. If I were to connect, say, this point to this point, for example, this would be the direction of my shadow. Or I could say the direction of my shadow is more like this or more like this, right? Similar thing, 1, 2, 3. You don't have to be terribly precise, but you have to be consistent, meaning I can pick any of these directions here, and then I can just continue with those lines being parallel. So let's pick, let's say, number 3. All right, so I'm going to go over. So I just pay attention to the top and the bottom, which means this line is where I'm having a point right here, okay? And then do the same thing here. I'm going to go over. All right, here's my number 2. There's my point. I'm going to go over from the back, pay attention to this light ray, and I have a point here. Now, this one on the back side, the far left side, okay, just from experience, I know that this point that is projected is going to be on the inside, meaning if I were to connect these 4 points, I end up with a shape, something like this, okay? And this is the projection of the top of my cube onto a virtual plane, or the plane that the box is resting on. That's effectively what we're doing. Now here, and actually I feel like this should be a little more angled like this. Again, just from experience. What tends to happen is this line and this line would converge at the same vanishing point. That's why I can make that correction. But in any case, now I have these points. So I have a region similar to what I had before on the natural light shadow example. I have this region, and I can just shade this in real quick with my pen here. Nice hatching or motor stroke. And once that's shaded in, that becomes my shadow. All right, so let's take a look at these next to each other. And you can kind of see the difference in quality and characteristic of the shadow. Now, I do want to show you one more shadow, one more way to create a shadow that I actually did not anticipate before this. I'm going to do a drop shadow. So we have artificial light, natural light, and now I'm going to show you a drop shadow. So a drop shadow is a shadow cast by an object as it floats over the plane that the object would rest on. All right, so that virtual plane, that's what a drop shadow is. So if I were to quickly sketch a cube, did not prepare this cube ahead of time, but let's go quickly sketch a cube here. All right, something like this. Okay, I have a cube like this, and I just want to create a drop shadow. What I'm imagining, whether it be a natural light, okay, light bulb, natural light source, or it's the sun, okay, what I'm imagining is that these light rays are effectively parallel to the top surface of the object. And so what you have is a cast shadow that is the silhouette of that top surface. So in other words, I can look at these 4 points, kind of follow the perspective here. This is a 3-point perspective. See how these 3 lines converge to the same point. So now if I just extend these lines, I can then make a determination like so, for example, to create an offset. And if I follow this line, or if I were to draw through, and you see the backside here, just kind of pay attention and fill this in like so. I effectively have the top surface, we'll call this A, being cast as the shadow right here. All right, so what does that mean? Well, even if I have some organic shape like this, all right, I know I haven't gotten to organic shapes in the boot camp, but even if I have a shape like this, and we assume there's a light source above and some parallel light rays coming from above, all I have to do is look at and think about, rather, what is the cross section of this object. If I were to cut through it, right, maybe I have 3 ellipses like that, and so the perimeter, right, this outline, I wouldn't necessarily sketch it this way on paper because it gets kind of messy, but just for illustrative purposes here, I would just pick a point like this, and then maybe kind of virtually guesstimate and go, all right, there's a point there. If I were to have a middle cross-section line here, right, this just means like a virtual segment of the object. Like if I were to cut this in half, this is what it would look like. So I can take this cross-section now, take this point, kind of guesstimate where this goes based on this one, pay attention to the height and so forth. So I'm going to guesstimate here and then start to connect these dots. All right, so maybe I end up with something like this for my drop shadow. I'm not going through the trouble of projecting all of these, but you can kind of see it's reasonably accurate. And then now for the shadow, as I shade this in, I have a drop shadow underneath this organic object, just like so, and similarly underneath this cube. All right, so that covers shadow. We've covered texture and a little bit of shading, covered perspective. We have a few more things to do. Composition, some transformations, like how to create a more complex object from a primitive. Transformations, and then multiplying those primitives to combine them into additional or more complex forms, objects is what I meant to say. All right. It's a little bit late. All right. I'm recording this a little bit late, so cut me some slack or give me a break, or what we say in Jamaica, give me a bly. It's a little bit late. So like I said at the beginning of the video, things are a little heavy right now. So I wanted to make this to just say I'm still here. And if you are feeling a little bit heavy, maybe draw something. Draw your feelings, draw your thoughts, draw some objects. It doesn't have to be anything, but art is always a good way to, at least for me, to process emotions, thoughts, feelings, and so forth. All right. Much love to you. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I'm back. Things have been a little busy. It's not an excuse. It's a reality. And I'm grateful for the work, for people reaching out to me, for saying hello and connecting. It's good to be back. So you can expect more videos. Don't worry. At least one per week. I'm hoping to get through this bootcamp series fairly quickly. So I'm going to pump out some more here. And once that's finished, I'm going to launch into streaming again. And then, of course, doing a bit more in-depth video, right? So a specific sketch, maybe some step-by-steps, and additionally I'll be sharing my thoughts. Now, more on the thoughts later. I don't want to put that into this video, but I'm human. I'm more than the two-dimensional image you see on the screen. And again, it's an interesting time to be alive. I have thoughts and feelings, personal and otherwise, and so you can expect some of that. All right. Okay. Once again, much love. Take care. And I'll see you next time on Sketch A Day. And remember to do all the good things. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Actually, liking and commenting definitely help with the algorithm. Thank you for the views. Thank you for the support. And I will see you next time. All right. Bye-bye now.